work ethic, somehow contriving to avoid working more than half the year. There have been many family discussions on how John manages to support himself, worries about how he will now support Shira. More than a few glances have been thrown at the greenhouse, the surprising number of lamps that are in there, and a type of plant that Mum just cannot find in a local garden centre. It's after it, yeah. Anyway, moving away from academic endeavours, no trip down a Daniels family memory lane would be complete without mentioning music. And more to the point, without mentioning the wonderful and talented and sorely missed Jack Daniels. Anyone who knew or even heard of our late grandpa, who sadly passed away a couple of years ago at the ripe old age of 100, will know that music talent started with him and runs deep in our family. I was meant to Photoshop myself out that one. You only need to hear my dad play almost anything on the piano by ear to believe it. Not to play my own trumpet, but well, I can hold a tune or two on the brass. But sadly, I think the gene pool was close to maintenance the day Pooch came into the world. In fact, the Daniels family jazz band suffered an acrimonious split well before the traditionally difficult second album, mostly because Pooch would find every and any excuse to avoid practice, in some cases even pretending to do the housework. Although notice the computer in the background with what looks like a Pac-Man pause in the middle of a game. Nonetheless, the debate rages on to this day. Was it a lack of aptitude or lack of application that led to Pooch's failed music career? But this rare snapshot taken after yet another failed practice session might help sway public opinion. And to this day, John protests that the pens seen in this shot were definitely not illegally gleaned from the local primary school.
Having said that, Andy, I do actually believe Pooch tried to rekindle his musical career a few years ago. Here's a snapshot, if you would be so kind. Taken shortly before the Swansea X Factor auditions with Pooch and his fellow band members of No Direction. I think Pooch's stage name on this occasion was Harry No Styles. But to be fair, bad dress sense is not his only style affliction. There's been bad hair, has been one of his specialities. I think this is the Chesney Hawkes look. Yeah.
And this is what should now be referred to as a Pooch perm. Mum, you have no idea how grateful I am to you for this. Just in case anyone wants a second look at any of these photos, don't worry, they'll be on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, you name it, before the end of the evening. Probably already, I think. Hashtag Pooch. But while we're looking at hairstyles, let's not forget the facial hair. This particular beard, I believe, took about 5 years to grow, which coincidentally is about as long as it took for Pooch to finally propose to Shira. But good things do come to those who wait.
They actually do. And just think, Shira, you might have had to wait 5 or so years, but what a catch. Perfect and natural fathering material, as you'll see. Not sure who was more shocked in this picture. And he's patient with kids as well, as you can see.
And it's not just Pooch's paternal instincts that you'll be commiserating, celebrating. What a great cook he is too. This was recently taken at their engagement party, after yet another highly burnt but somehow uncooked in the middle pizza was presented to people to eat. There's quite a few of us in here that just about managed to live through that.
Although actually any reference to cooking has to include his adventure with the microwave mince pies in about 1995. So anyone who's ever heated a mince pie in a microwave, or anyone who's ever had a brain, will know that first you need to remove the foil. And then I believe the next instruction is just simply pop the tart in the oven for 10 seconds and Bob's your mother's brother, as they say.
But not for Pooch. 2 critical mistakes took place during Mince Pie Gate. Firstly, Pooch forgot to remove the foil casing. And anyone who's ever seen a metal in a microwave will know what kind of mistake that is. But to compound this, he then misread 10 seconds for 10 minutes. Walked away and came back to find a raging fire bursting out of the microwave and threatened to engulf the kitchen. Pooch, though, being Pooch, rushed for the only certain thing to help with electrical fire, a bucket of water. Sadly, we don't have any pictures of the melted, cracked and charred remains of Mum's kitchen, just a microwave. Nor do we have any pictures of Pooch standing innocently, as usual, in a garden, claiming to have no knowledge, as usual, of how any of it happened, as usual. The picture, though, of Dad's face is etched into my brain, and after a few drinks a bit later, I'll be willing to tell any of you about it.
So anyway, we're probably way over the time it takes Pooch to perform his duties, so we should probably wrap it up here. There'll probably be plenty more stories available at the bar later, which we'll be happy to share with you. Not least his penchant for dressing up as dodgy superheroes.
And so to finish off, we'd simply like to say that given all of this, we are absolutely delighted Shira consented to marry Pooch. We both couldn't be happy for him or you, Shira, and hope you are now not having second thoughts.
Yeah. Well done, Pooch, and Shira, good luck.
And so to finish off, ladies and gentlemen, please raise your glasses to the happy couple. To the happy couple.
Yeah. Well, that was an interesting speech. Now, you've met my best men. You must be wondering what the rest of them are like. Secondly, it's lucky Shira didn't see any of this before we got married. Where's Howard? Howard, have you already run away?
He's here.
Where is he? He's hiding. Howard, just want to say thanks for making the trip over from Seattle and meeting little Lindy. Andy, it's been quite a year for both of us. I think one of the best we've ever had. Thanks for organising the stag, and I think between us and the rest of the boys, we managed to keep Bournemouth safe for one weekend. So, for the very first time, I'd like to say, on behalf of my wife and I, we'd like to thank you all for coming today and sharing our special day. I know this is meant to be our day, but of course it wouldn't be so special if it wasn't for our family and friends being here with us. And I'm sure you'll all agree that we found the ideal setting for this memorable occasion. We'd also like to thank you all for your cards, kind thoughts, and wonderful gifts. I can see Shira being even busier in the kitchen with much entertaining ahead of us. Now, when I originally wrote this speech, I was going to start with the following sentence. For the first time, and probably the last, I'd like to speak on behalf of my wife and I. Well, as you heard earlier, that ship has already sailed, but the upside is that my speech will be considerably shorter. Now, as is custom, there will be a few toasts during the speech, so Shira, please make sure you don't down the whole glass at the first toast. Unfortunately, it's not been possible to have everyone we love here with us today. Some very close family members have either passed away or are too ill to be with us, but we know that they're here with us in spirit, and I hope they can see some of the profound impact they've had on us with the way we design today and how we lead our lives. So with them in mind, would you please all stand and raise your glasses? To absent family and friends. Now, after Shira accepted my hand in marriage, the second best thing that happened to me last year was to hear that Andy, that's my brother, and Tanya were expecting their first baby. 5 weeks ago, my gorgeous nephew, Nathaniel Jack Daniels, was born. It has already brought so much happiness to Shira and I, and it's also lovely to see so many other new additions here today.